Hi, good morning. This is Osam Wakabayashi from Zen Ideas. Today I want to talk about redesigning the website. So as you can see on the left hand side here on the screen is old design for my client. And recently I updated, well I wouldn't say update, I redesigned their website, which is on the right hand side. So this is super easy to do. It doesn't cost you a lot. It's not something that you have to build the new website. It just to change the skin, kind of layout, change the background and adjusting the typeface and adding few different things. So I want to just walk you through how easy to redesign your website without going through the major surgery or like building from scratch. All right. So let's take a look at here on the left hand side. So this is their old website. Now the problem here is I think we built this website about 10 years ago, and we need to just update the look. The good thing about WordPress is that if you keep updating core file and the plugin, the theme file, and then when you decide to change a design, you can keep the content and you can just change the skin and then design element. I just want to go through that the problem of this old website. Now as you can see, the content width of the website is very narrow. I think we set that as 960 pixel. So 10 years ago that was pretty standard, but now the laptop, the screen seems to be wider, and then they need to be adjusted. The new website is 1140 pixel. Now I think the standard today is about 1200 pixel. So that's the standard because the screen is wider, and then the computer of the screen is getting higher resolutions. So left hand side here, another problem is the typeface is it's very small. This is like 14 pixel, and which is small and it's not easy to read. And if you can see on the top of the menu too, and it's also small and it's difficult to navigate. And they use a logo and some graphic element, taking quite a bit of space here. But overall, it's okay. They're putting their news feed on their landing page. All right. Now, so let's take a look at on the right hand side. It's a bit wider, as I said, 1140 pixel width, the container from left to right. And also we added recent highlights, and then with Elementor, any WordPress, adding something like that is quite easy. And then I redesigned the header too. It's much simpler, just their logo on the left hand side, on the menu items on the right hand side. Another thing is on the new website, so there are sub menus here. So the little arrow kind of indicates that so that the user knows there are sub pages below it. On the old website, so there's no indication, so the user doesn't really know that there are sub pages underneath of it. So so little things here, little arrows, it helps the user that navigate content as well. And another thing is when you hover your mouse, you see that a little line bar on the bottom here. So it's kind of also it's easier for user to where their mouse is now. On here on the old website, so there's no such an indication for that. So this is something new, and also a new website. As you scroll through, it's called a sticky header. So even though now, because this website especially is there's lots of news feeds, and then people load more, and it's gonna go, people might keep scrolling down, and at the same time so they don't want to lose the top navigation too. So this is called a sticky header. We also added some element on the footer too. So there's a newsletter sign up here, and there are social media links. And then on the bottom footer, here is just their address and then contact information, and also some sub page navigation menu too. So basically, yeah, I changed the background. I got rid of the blue background and then make it wider, and then make the typeface a little bit bigger, and add some element, and I did some upgrades, so the header and the footer design. So you know, people might think, oh, this is gonna be lots of work, but it's not. So I can just walk you through how easy you can make adjustments, something like this. All right, so on the right hand side is just front end, and then the left hand side is kind of admin screen. I used about a theme for this website. So there's about a theme, so there's a kind of theme option. Any WordPress, actually most of WordPress themes, so they have some global settings. It might look different. And then let's take a look at it. So as you can see here, the layout, so the site width here, so it used to be 960 pixel. I just changed to 1140 pixel. So this is how you can change that. And it's quite easy. And you just save changes. And the logo too, I just replaced with the new logo, which is just a simple their logo on the left hand side. So it used to be kind of the big banner in the middle. So that's another change. And I probably changed that the logo margin a little bit narrower too. And then it used to be, I think, it's bigger than that. Another thing is, let's see, probably the background, main content background. So it used to be, it was blue on the background, and I changed to just white. All right. And let's look at typography and body text typography. And then, so it used to be 14 pixel. Now I changed to 17. So it looks bigger, and it's much easier to read. And I might probably change the line height as well. And also here, the header typography too. I think I've changed that, made some adjustment too. It used to be smaller, but here you can change the color. And for this particular project, we haven't changed the font family, which typeface to use. But here, if you want to, if your clients want to change different typeface, you can change that right here. And there's H2, H3, and so forth. Now under the theme of options, so basically that's all I did. But this kind of tells you how easy to modify to make some adjustment to change the look and feel. So another thing is, now I spend a little time on the footer. I got the new design. And then for that, I used Elementor. So I just made a new header design, so which is go to theme builder. With Elementor, it's super easy to individually design just a footer. And I had this kind of blue bar on the top. That's what the client wanted based on their branding guideline. And then put the logo element, logo image on the left hand side. And here's a menu here, just to change the layout and horizontal. And then Elementor, you can do some different settings here. Again, like I'm not gonna go through the detail today. But basically, I just redesigned the header. And the footer design is the same thing. With Elementor, you can design individually footer element using the same tool. So that's a footer. So we got some email newsletter element here. And then the social media element right here and the social icons, and those are footer elements. So you can just drag and drop and put a different element. Now something that those grayed out. So this is for mobile, and then with the Elementor you can design for a desktop view and a mobile responsive design. So I have to with this client I have to design on the footer element kind of separately. So again, so this is extra work, but I think to my mind having a different design for desktop and then mobile is important. So this is what we did for this particular client. And then, well, in the real life, actually, like we spent a lot of time having a meeting with the client, and then providing some design consultation. And then, but as you can see, but the actual implementation is probably easier than you thought. So hopefully this helps, and I'll see you next time.